Hello, this is Neil. Welcome back. This is from mypaintgirls.com. You can check out the link there and go to the website for more free tutorials. So let's go ahead and continue where we left off. We left off with the shape here. I went ahead and fixed up just a little bit. This is the center line. I went ahead and fixed up a little bit. That way, it looks more presentable. Anyway, the point is that you want to be able to get these shapes solidified in your mind. That way, you can draw pretty much from any angle you can imagine. Now, we still have to do the side view. But let's say just from these angles here, can we imagine what it might look like if we had it tilted down like this here, but also at an angle? And that's pretty much here, but this is more straight on, but we want to kind of tilt it downwards more. So we'll be able to see more of the top of the head if we did that. So let's go ahead and draw, like we're going to draw the top of the head there, and I'm going to kind of draw, that shape there because I know, and it's going to kind of be facing down. And then I'd have a lot of the jaw I can see, and then some of the back of the head there. I'd see some of the neck, and like so. Then I know I'd have my eyes in here as well. Then my center line, because it's at a 3/4 angle. So being able to draw this from different angles will really help you then start drawing the head and the face from different angles. Right, so then we need the side view, and then we'll be done with these base angles, the ones you want to memorize. And once you have these memorized, it really becomes a walk in the park to go ahead and start drawing this from different angles from your mind. So from a side view, I draw this sideways oval like this to start off with for this base shape, because when the head is viewed from a side angle, it becomes a lot longer. So it's much more narrow this way than it is this way from the side. I'm just going to kind of draw where the neck would kind of come off here, and maybe this should be a little bit taller. It's almost a straight, for this primitive shape, that's almost a straight down line. And then we'll learn how to add the different shapes to this. And then that same line, I kind of want to put that same line on there so this is these two lines we've been drawing, so we'd see part of that line there. And then the neck would kind of come more like this actually. The neck comes at straight like this, so it's straight down. From here it's at an angle. Alright, there we go. So now we have all the all the different angles. So you memorize these different angles and be able to draw them from your mind. So get a good reference book, because these are pretty lame looking, but it gets the basic idea. But get like a good reference book or a good 3D model that's a basic mannequin head, and draw from reference these different angles, and then an hour later draw from your mind, and keep doing that, and eventually you'll be able to just draw them from your mind. You want to solidify this shape in your mind, go to a art store, buy a cheap stick of clay, not Play-Doh but clay. You only need a couple sticks, 1 or 2 sticks. They're pretty cheap, or just get like whatever the cheapest pack they sell of clay, and then mold this three-dimensional shape, this basic shape. First do it from reference, and flip that either an actual mannequin head, a wooden head, or that's a very base shape like this, or a 3D object that's a base shape like this. This base shape can actually be found like on Daz Studio. You'd have to get Poser 8 model though, the mannequin from Poser 8. You might be able to get another free mannequin model too that has pretty much a head like this. Pretty much all mannequins have a base head shape like this. So anyway, you want to be able to sculpt that from reference, and then sculpt it without a reference. Once you can sculpt it without a reference very easily, then you have solidified this three-dimensional shape in your mind. It takes a while. It takes a lot of practice to get to that point. Once you're to that point though, and you can draw this three-dimensional shape from any angle, then I guarantee you can draw the face from any angle, because now you're just going to add a little bit more knowledge to this, and you're going to see how easy it will be to draw the human face now. So we already did the face from the front view, and I have it, that is on my website. I have another tutorial, the perfect square method. I recommend doing that. I know it's boring, but I recommend doing the perfect square method until you can draw a front view, a pretty face from the front view without any reference. So once you are able to draw this three-dimensional shape like we have here, then it's just, well, where does everything go? Well, we know the eyes go in here, and since we know that, we know from the front view tutorial, the perfect square method, we know the eyes and this is like really tiny, so it's going to be kind of hard to draw it with any detail. But we know the eyes are going to fit within this part here, within these two little lines, and we know that they're going to be equally spaced apart. We know the nose is just going to come down a little bit ways, like an eye and a half way down. Then we know the mouth is going to fit in here. And it's easier if you just kind of draw a line and then draw another shade like this. That way it's easy to place the mouth. If you just do those two little shapes, a straight line and a smaller line, like shadows, then it's easy to move it if you kind of messed up a little bit, or you can move this whole part a little bit because we know the chin now is a little bit too big, and so now we can just move it down, let's say like so, and then you have what you need. And then you take your eraser and you could come in, oops, it's so tiny that it's going to be hard for me to do this, but let's see here. I have to just zoom in a little bit. I wanted to try to stay zoomed out as much as possible. I'm just going to slightly shape a little bit like that. So I'm not going to put much detail on it since we're working so tiny. Right, so the point is though that now you can see there's a face there. And now you just have to learn a few different rules in order to apply the face to these different three-dimensional models. The reason why I want you to also memorize where this band goes is that helps you know where everything else goes. There are some things you need to memorize though. As the head tilts back, the nose gets closer to the eyes. Matter of fact, it pretty much overlaps into this area here, like so. And then the lips get really close as well, so you just draw, oops, you draw that front line, oops, that front shadow, and then draw that bottom shadow. Notice the chin appears to be a lot longer as the head tilts back. As the head tilts down, you have the nose gets longer, at least it looks like it's longer, further away from the eyes, and the lips end up being right here, and so the chin looks very tiny. It's not, it is tiny, it's not literally shrinking, it's just moving away from us. So these little things you want to memorize. It just makes it drawing from these different angles easier. Now that looks kind of like a pig nose, and you have to be kind of delicate with how you draw it from that angle, but I don't want to show that just yet. I probably won't have enough time to show that in this video. And so then you would still draw the eyes, an eye length apart, and they'd fit in like that. You'd see a lot of the top part of the socket, so you have a lot of that dark area up there. Let's say it's being lit from above, then you see some of the eyebrows. So this is kind of a ugly looking view from the head. You just kind of start shaping it more as it would look as a real head from this angle. And then so what I can do, let's say, is get my soft brush here and just slightly erase this. And you can see though, once you have that base shape, how it would be easy to draw the head as it would appear. Now keep in mind, as the head does tilt back away like this, you can see a lot more of the jaw. So the jaw, even if it's a female, will appear much bigger from this angle than it would from any other angle. Slightly tilt in like that. Let's go ahead and shade part of this here, then bring her neck in like so. Right, so then you want to, you already know where the eyes are going to be and everything, so you can begin to draw the eyes. And from this angle, the eyes take a different shape. And this is something you're going to want to look at something you want to look at references for, and draw the eyes from this angle here. I kind of made that one higher than this one or whatever. And you can actually see a lot of the bottom part of the eye. So I'm not really, not spending too much time trying to make this look pretty. I just want to talk about the main ideas, so like that. And then the eyebrow would be right there at the top of that part. But notice that's the shading because we're lighting it from the top. And so then you have part of the nose, part of the bridge of the nose here, that would be shaded too. And then you would be able to see, just a little bit part of this nose here. And I'm going to just give her really tiny nostrils. And then you'd have that upper part of the lip there. then you have that lower part of the lip there, and you can then add the detail to the lips, how the lips will look. But anyway, I just don't want to spend too much time with that. And then from the 3/4 view, you just remember different kind of 3/4 view. You know where that center line is. Now, one of the main things you want to remember with this is when, oh man, I'm almost out of time, is when you do the 3/4 view, that center line here, what happens is most of the chin will fall on the right hand side of the line. It depends whatever angle you're turning. If it's turned this way, then most of the chin is going to be on this side of the line. If the head is turned that way, most of the chin will be on that side of the line. So that's something to memorize. It just helps draw it easier, and then the chin kind of starts going away as it comes up like that. So you kind of have that shape there, and then it kind of, you have this shape here, and you have that wedge in the eye. And this is where you want to, the reason why I had drawn it like this is this is actually a Pac-Man wedge. So from the side view, this is a Pac-Man wedge like that. So that's something you want to memorize as well. I'm done.